World Health Organization has just recently confirmed the death of a young Indonesian girl blaming bird flu. Since 2003, bird flu has killed 164 people and infected hundreds more. Now, researchers in Indiana have devised a computer-simulated model that predicts how an emerging influenza pandemic might spread across the globe by air travel. More importantly, the model also looks at how to contain it. Joining us now from Bloomington, Indiana, with more is one of the researchers, Vittoria Kolitsa. Vittoria, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Travel restrictions, which we have, been working on so diligently, did little to stop the spread of this simulated pandemic. Why is that?
The results of our simulations show that even large travel restriction, like 50%, reducing 50% or 70% of the traffic, wouldn't be able to contain the pandemic within the source or mitigate the pandemic either. The problem is that anyway, people could be allowed to travel and could carry the disease from one geographic zone to the other, then starting a new outbreak in a different geographic zone.
So what did stop it?
Basically, we showed that the use of antiviral drugs, which would be the only measure at the beginning during the first few months since while we are waiting for the development of an appropriate vaccine.
Yeah.
So AV drugs would be very efficient in delaying the pandemic peak and also mitigating the impact that the pandemic would have on the population. So basically strongly reducing the number of sick people.
So the conclusion being we should start making these vaccines or researching more effective vaccines immediately.
No, not vaccine, but antiviral drugs.
Sorry, yes.
So the vaccine would be developed once the virus has emerged.
Right.
Because it needs to be appropriate for that virus. But we already have AV drugs, and already some countries are stockpiling on AV drugs, and that would be extremely important to do that. But our results actually show that the reason, the most efficient strategy would be to have a cooperative strategy intervention in which wealthy countries which are stockpiling on AV drugs would donate part of their resources for a global benefit.
So it's to the benefit of those nations, wealthier nations that are stockpiling these antiviral drugs. It's to their benefit to share them.
It's for the benefit of all, so it's for the benefit not only of the recipient countries, but also for the donors. So what the results show that the pandemic would have a little effect, a smaller impact, also on the countries which donate the AV drugs, the medicines.
So do you take this research now and do you give it to the World Health Organization?
Well, it's not that easy, let's say. I'd be very glad, of course, to present my results to the organization, and I believe that these kind of simulations are important scientific tools that can be used in order to provide some insight on what intervention should be taken into account, considered, and how to manage it.
Vittoria, how bad did it get in your simulation? Did it, particularly I'm thinking now, Canada and the United States, just how bad did it get?
Well, if, for example, nobody intervenes at any level, from the individual to the country level, it could also infect half of the population.
Wow. That is scary stuff. Well, thank you very much for sharing your conclusions with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Coming up, why are Manitoba residents cheering for the Chicago Bears in Sunday's Super Bowl? We'll have a Canadian connection for you coming up.